So, every director in the filmography has one that's underrated or not as well known. And people are going to be like, oh, wait, that exists? Or I didn't even know that was a thing. And obviously, for Mr. Tarantino, he has one that's. There's actually two, but this one feels a heck of a lot more mature. A lot more understanding of what exactly is happening. This one is called Jackie Brown. This was post Pulp Fiction, and it's based off of the novel Rum Punch by Elron something like that. And upon watching it, I'm like, okay, so this is kind of a tribute to black exploitation, but at the same time, not leaning into the, I guess you can call it more seedier aspects of it. More just like taking like this film author knew what he was doing and gave it a more I don't want to say intelligent approach, but gave it a makeover, if you will, of it being more of a drama. And of course, freaking Pam Grier is in this, and she's absolutely incredible in here. I mean, you got Robert Forster, whose career was kind of at a low at this point, but then per Quentin Tarantino's style, he revives the career of a lot of people or brings them back into prominence. And that's exactly what he's doing here. Of course, there's Samuel L. Jackson being a regular mother effer, playing a sadistic person. And I'm like, I just love their chemistry that those two have here. But yeah, obviously, Jackie Brown is a flight attendant, and she's got kind of a shady, a past, right? What was that? Something to do with drugs or whatever, and she's willing to be an informant for the FBI in order to pretty much just have the charges dropped. And lo and behold, they're also trying to go after this other Jackson's character. So what we get is a lot of intensive moments. And with these intensive moments, we get a whole new, different approach to it. This feels like this is the most mature film that Tarantino was making because, yes, there is some subject matter, but it's done very well. However, there is one thing I noticed was the critical use, was the use of the certain six letter word that I don't want to say, and it's just thrown around casually, which some people are like, yeah. I know that Spike Lee had a problem with it. Um, Honestly, I think really this movie could have just had like maybe one or two uses of it for the context and nothing else. But that's just in my opinion here. The characters feel more real. It feels this is less like the more over the top moments and saying, hey, let's take a more, I guess, district attorney approach or not a or a PI or whatever approach to it and just doing some what's the word I'm looking for stakeouts of trying to capture Jackson's character, and all the while Pam Grier is pretty much just working and manipulating everyone to get what she wants, including a $270 suit for whatever reason. I don't know, that suit just stood out to me, which I'm like, oh dang. And then of course she manages to sweet talk a bunch of people. Hey, she pretty much just steals the show, and it's really mature, real, in a real way that there's just no fluff or anything about it. This is like a freaking 9 out of 10 movie, but at the same time, it's like, hey, um, just it's like this, it kind of it doesn't twist and turn, but at the same time, I'll admit there were certain moments like there's this girlfriend or whatever that's there, which I'm just thinking of like, why it's like, why is she here? And all the while she's complaining, Robert De Niro's character was there, and he's starting to get a little annoyed by her. So rather than just telling her to shut up, he krills her in the parking lot. I'm like, what? That felt so wrong. I don't know. I don't know. It just, that was just so baffling. And it just, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. The soundtrack in here is freaking phenomenal. Having a whole bunch of funk, R&B hits, and I think there's a little bit of jazz rock in here, but when you just listen to it, it captures the vibe of what was this, the 1980s or whatever, so dang well. Um, as I'm thinking about, like, okay, so we have this here. We also have Jackson going on talking about firearms, and all the while with these firearms, it's like he's pretending it's over the top person, whereas then the person who gets grilled later says, "Oh, he just watched all these movies or whatever is following anyone." So then we have some J.P. Tremblay from Trailer Park Boys looking person just like, yeah, he was all right, I guess, kind of a little pretentious, so, but it's just works so well, and then the non-linear storytelling is in here. There's no denying that it works. We get three different perspectives. We get it from Jackson's character, we get it from Jackie Brown's character, and then Robert Forrest's perspective, of everything that went down. So we get to see the money being left in the fitting room. We get to see how Brown leaves, saying she was waiting for we were waiting for the crowd lady to come in, but never does, or whatever it was. I mean, but yeah, it's the style of storytelling that, and combined with Tarantino's dialogue, it works so well. So as I'm just watching and looking at it, I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, I know, just like Shaft and Superfly and everything else and Coffee, but it's like this felt like the massive, more, I don't want to say mature take, but I felt like a different take on it being serious, and yeah, it works really well. There's a great romance between Jackie and the reporter, whose name eludes me at this point, and it feels real and genuine because they're trying to talk and get everything situated, and it works. It works. I'm very, very, gosh darn happy I got to saw this. This feels like the most, how do I? This feels like the most well-developed story that he did with the best characters possible. But at the same time, this movie's not going to be for everyone, because obviously it's a different style of film for him, that it's more law based and get everything situated and multiple perspectives. So that's my take on that. But yeah, with all that going in, I do recommend that you watch Jackie Brown.